Hey y'all, how y'all doing? This is your girl Tysheen. How you feeling? I hope y'all like the new this is my old mic. I haven't used this mic in such a long time, so hopefully the sound better, because I've been using this mic here. This whole time I've been using this mic. Hope y'all can see the name. It's called Rod. This one. I've been using this mic the whole time. I mean, I like it, but I think the one I'm using right now sound a little better. But y'all let me know. Let me know which one I prefer. This mic here that I'm using, or you prefer the other mic. Just let me know. Okay, y'all let me know, because y'all the one that's watching my video and listening, so y'all gotta let me know. But anyway, I'm gonna be reacting to if you're American who has moved abroad, how has your concept of freedom changed? Ooh, yes. I like to watch these type of videos. So let's get straight to it.
If you're an American that has moved abroad, how has your concept of freedom changed?
Let me introduce you to my medical box.
What?
As an international...
Medical is always the number one topic when it comes to American living abroad.
Student on a student visa in the UK, I pay £470 as my immigration healthcare surcharge fee. That means over the course of the 6 years that I've lived here, I've paid a total of £2,820 for my healthcare. And that's it. There's been no prescription costs, there's been no emergency hospitalization costs, and I've had to use all of the healthcare a lot. I have endometriosis, I've been diagnosed as a celiac while I've been here, and I get food on prescription through the NHS because I can't have gluten. And not having to pay anything extra for my healthcare means that I've had freedom to do things like, I got a cat.
If you're an American that has moved abroad, how has your concept of freedom changed?
There are a lot of different things I could say for this question, but one of the things that feels very relevant to everything going on in the States as far as the Supreme Court goes is how Ireland changes their constitution. Now, this isn't exactly freedom necessarily, and it wasn't something that I was able to actively participate in because I don't have my citizenship yet. But I've been here for 2 referendums, the same-sex marriage referendum as well as the repeal the 8th referendum. For both of these important issues, a citizens' assembly was organized and done before the actual referendum took place, and the entire country voted to decide whether or not to allow same-sex marriages to happen based on the Constitution and whether there was a right to an abortion. Both of these passed. This type of direct democracy was incredibly refreshing to experience.
If you're an American that has moved abroad, how has your concept of freedom changed?
So I'm an American living in Finland, and immediately yes to everything in that video. Yes to the freedom of no longer fearing gun violence, no longer fearing medical bills, having labor rights and workers' rights and a livable minimum wage. All of that, absolutely. But I think for me, the biggest freedom that I enjoy as an American living not in America is the freedom from the fear of sexual violence and the freedom from rape culture and the daily sexual violence that I experienced in America. And I lived in big, liberal, progressive cities like Boston and San Francisco, and every time I left the house, I was catcalled, I was grabbed, I was sexually assaulted. I have experienced daily sexual violence for the entirety of my life that I can remember in America. And when I moved to Finland, and for the first couple of months that I lived here, was living in Helsinki, and I never once felt afraid to walk.
My dog is barking. I see what's going on.
A few moments later.
Walk in any part of the city at any time, day or night, wearing any amount of clothing, including in the summer when I was wearing shorts and a tank top. And I never once was sexualized or harassed or catcalled or made to feel like a sexual object. And I think that is a freedom that I didn't even imagine being possible. And that is the freedom that I am most grateful for having left America.
If you're an American that has moved abroad, how has your concept
It must feel so good.
of freedom changed?
So I spent like 16 months living in Europe. 4 when I was in undergrad and then a year in grad school. And even though I already had a sense of this before I went to live there, it really struck me that no matter where I needed to go, like across the city, across the country, or to a completely different country, I never really needed a car. Like I can count on my fingers the number of times
That's one thing I like.
16 months that I needed to get a taxi, and I never needed to rent a car because public transit was just always so reliable. And there's a lot of freedom in that. And here we associate cars with freedom, but that freedom comes at a cost. And it's an even higher cost if you don't own a car. And you've probably experienced this if you've had to like drop your car off for inspection or maintenance. Because while you're waiting to get your car back, you are stranded. You realize when you're on foot just how much of this country is built for cars. And that's a pretty warped sense of freedom.
If you're an American that has moved abroad, how has your concept of freedom changed? Do you prefer the freedom of knowing that you won't get unexpected medical bills? Do you prefer the freedom of
That's freedom.
Being able to spend more time with your family due to shorter work weeks? Do you prefer the freedom of knowing that the government has minimum employment standards, like guaranteed paid time off of between 20 and 40 paid days off a year, depending on which country you've moved to? Do you prefer the freedom of knowing that if you hear fireworks, you can encourage your children to look out the window rather than questioning whether it's something else that you should be afraid of?
Gunfire.
Do you prefer the freedom of knowing that freedom of speech doesn't extend to unlimited campaign bribes that corporations can invest in politicians to get them to do their bidding instead of yours? Mm-hmm. So yeah, how has your concept of freedom changed?
You made so many good points. For me, it was realizing that my perception of what makes a good quality of life was actually so low in the view of an Australian that it's a bit embarrassing. I actually met another American and she's like, oh, I find it so easy to get along here. I feel really guilty because my Australians have the opposite. They're talking about how difficult it is. And we really sat down, we realized it's because we're given so much less. Like imagine making $7.25 an hour and trying to live in a city that is as expensive as what things are right now, like particularly a city on the West Coast or East Coast in the States, or even at $10 an hour, try to get by on that. And so we're just happy that we can like pay the bills on your minimum wage and it's not stressing us like we're not in debt. The other side of it was I went to university here and I tell them where I went, they're like, that's so expensive, how did you go there? And I'm like, as an American, like this is a pretty normal cost for university. So imagine it being so normalized that you're supposed to pay through the nose for your education.
It's so expensive.
And then the last thing was the time off. Like I already work in a good industry in project management here, but I took on another job just because I was impressed by the wages in hospitality. And Australians are like, you need to chill. Like, chill out. Take a break. You don't need 2 jobs. I'm like, no, I don't need 2 jobs, but like pay so well, I should have 2 jobs. And like that's terribly American and probably pretty toxic. And then
That's America for you. That's how it is here. You know, people always want to brag how much they have 3 jobs. I'm like, that's good for you. Why do we have to normalize that? Like, why do it have to be normal? Like having 3 jobs. Why we can't just have 1 job, but a job that pays decent and, you know, is more livable, you know? It is crazy. They shouldn't be like, that shouldn't even be normal.
And if I'm not feeling well at work,
sad.
They say go home, take a rest.
I like that.
Come back when you're ready.
Please.
That is unheard of. My managers have always said, suck it up.
Yeah, I was going to say that. There's a lot of companies, especially managers, they're like that. They be like, suck it up. You tell them you have a headache or you're not feeling good. Okay, well, I don't have anybody to cover your shift. You're just going to have to do it. Like, they don't care. They don't care about your health. They don't care what's going on with you. They don't care. I have co-workers who said they had doctor's appointment, and I was there, and I heard when the manager said, "Oh well, you can't take that day off because I need you. We don't have a lot of, we're short on staff." And I'm like, and I'm saying to myself, well, she has a doctor's appointment. She has like serious medical problem. I mean, quite sure nobody don't know who I'm talking about, but this person, you know, she had cancer before. And her seeing the doctor is very, very important. But the supervisor is gonna say, not the supervisor, the manager is gonna say, "Oh well, we need you," you know. And I'm like standing there listening. I'm like, this is crazy. Oh my gosh, like
just do it.
Don't
So they'll
even
see me
care.
like literally. I look like I've got a foot in the grave, and they'll just look at me and they'll tell me to go home and rest. It blows my mind. I'm like ready for them to fire me because
That's
I'm being
so
a little
nice.
bit less productive that day.
Not here.
Because I've seen that happen. I've had plenty of places in the States I've seen employees get fired because they weren't well and they weren't productive. And they just bring in someone else to fill that space to be exploited. So it's just insane to me. You're used to a higher quality and standard of living here in Australia. The lowest of your low is so high to me. I'm like impressed by it. I'm like, ooh, okay, let's do this. This is lavish.
If you're an American that has moved abroad, how has your concept of freedom changed?
My understanding of freedom has changed dramatically since I moved abroad. And it started with unpicking just how much the word freedom is used as a dog whistle in the USA. The concepts of liberty and freedom are repeated so often and across so many channels.
I don't think America know what the word
They've
freedom
become indelibly
means.
connected
I
to
really
this idea
don't.
that America is the greatest. People come from elsewhere in the world to America for freedom, to the land of the free, the home of the brave.
Only if they knew.
This kind of rhetoric. And it's everywhere, so it becomes kind of part of the fabric of reality. I had to say the Pledge of Allegiance every day for the first 4 years of my elementary school career. The last line of it is, "with liberty and justice for all." And it's not liberty and justice for all. It's liberty and justice for a few
people
in America. And it's a very small demographic.
Mm-hmm.
So my understanding of freedom changed when I started to unpack how much we are inundated with freedom propaganda in the USA.
It's a video that lives in your head rent-free.
All right, yeah, so we finished. That's done. Yeah, but she's right though. I'm sorry, as American, I don't even think America even know what the word freedom even means. I don't think they know. Their definition, the definition of freedom is totally different here, you know, and it's crazy because I know people who came from Jamaica, come from other places, and they come here to start a new life, and it's like they're struggling. I know a lot of people that come here and they're struggling really bad. There are people who said they would retire and go back to their country, but by the time it's for them to retire, they passed away because, you know, here they will stress you out. It's all about work. They don't take the time to rest and relax their body, you know. So by the time it's too late, by the time you're 60 some years old, because I forgot what age you have to be to retire. Is it 62? I think 62 years old to retire here. So by that age, because a lot of people don't even make it to even 60. Some people don't even make it to 60. A lot of people don't even make it to 80. A lot of people don't. And it's sad that you have to retire at age 60 and you're already stressed out by your job. It's just sad in a way, you know. It's just sad. I know, I've heard, I never really witnessed, but I've heard and that people died at their job, had a heart attack, just dropped dead because all they do is working 2-3 jobs. You know, it's crazy, you know, but yeah, it's crazy, y'all. But anyway, if there's any other video you would like me to react to, comment below and let your girl know, and I'll see you later. Take care. Peace.